You know what freaks me out a little bit? The fact that you can have a full day, a packed day, a productive day, a day with plans and errands and food, and you went to the gym. Maybe you did some work, maybe even a little treat for yourself. And you still get home and feel like you didn't really touch your own life. And that's weird. That's such a weird feeling. You're sitting there at night with your shoes off and your hoodie on, and maybe you're eating something out of a bowl like a little raccoon. And you're just like, why do I feel so empty? Why do I feel like today just slid past me? Nothing even went wrong. And that's what makes it scary. Nothing blew up. Nothing cussed you out. You didn't lose your job. You didn't get your heart broken. You didn't get cursed by some ancient wizard. The day just felt thin. And I think a lot of people are living like that right now. Just thin. Like life has become this clean, polished, optimized little sequence of things to get through. And somewhere along the way, all of the human texture has gotten polished off with it. That's what I want to talk about, because I really think that we ruined life. Not in a dramatic moment, not with an invention or an app or even one generation. It's more complicated than that. I think we shaved it down slowly. We shaved down the waiting and the wandering and the dead time and the friction. We shaved down the little awkward pauses where something unexpected might happen. And now everything is smoother. And people love smooth. Smooth is easy, it's convenient. It helps you feel more in control. But it also makes life feel smooth after a while. It makes it feel fake. Because real life was never supposed to feel this polished. Let me tell you a moment that stuck with me. I was in a coffee shop once, and I'm not talking about those cute aesthetic coffee shops with the Edison bulbs and the fake books glued to the wall. I mean, a normal spot, nothing crazy. There were some people there. There was people doing work. There was, people sitting on their phone, eating food. There was few people waiting for their drink. There were enough humans in there for the room to feel alive. And it should have, but the whole place felt dead. And that bothered me because everyone was there physically, but nobody was really there. There was no random conversations or accidental moments or spillover into each other's lives. There's no sense that something out of the ordinary might happen. Everyone was like a sealed container. And I remember thinking, man, this is a lot what life feels like right now. It's the same room, the same old air, the same old soundtrack. There's just no pulse to it. It's just people completing their own little bubble before moving on to the next one. That's rough because humans aren't supposed to feel like that around each other all the time. We've accepted this strange version of existence where every interaction is pre-boxed because that's all we've known. You go somewhere for a reason. You have to do this thing, then you leave. And then you order the thing, and then you receive the thing, and then you leave. Then you enter the room, and you perform what you were supposed to, and then you leave. And you can live like that for years, and technically you can be fine and still feel like life never really soaked into you. I think that's why so many people feel this weird sadness that they just can't put a finger on why they feel it. Not because they're doing life wrong, but because the version of life that we've all accepted is weirdly unfriendly to our human spirit. I mean, think about how many things are designed to remove every single pause. Everything has to be immediate. Immediate answer, immediate delivery, immediate entertainment, immediate decision, immediate result. And I get it, of course I do. I like when stuff works. I like when things are easy sometimes. I don't want to wake up in the year 1822 and get taken out by some random disease because I drank the wrong water. That sounds terrible. I'm grateful for, a lot of modern life, truly. there is a cost to removing every delay. Delay used to teach you things. Waiting used to stretch your mind a little bit. You'd wait for dinner and actually get hungry. You'd wait to see someone and actually miss them. You'd wait for a new chapter or a new issue of your magazine and actually think about it in between. You'd wait on learning something and actually appreciate the process. Now, the moment a gap appears, we patch it over. The second the day opens, we try to fill it up. The second the plan doesn't materialize, we'll go and find some substitute for it. We're terrified of nothing happening. That's crazy because nothing happening used to be the place where your life started whispering to you. You'd get bored and suddenly you'd have an idea. You'd sit long enough and notice how you actually felt. You'd take the long way and find a place that you never would have found otherwise, and you end up loving it there. That matters. That stuff matters so much more than people realize. A lot of the best parts of being alive come from the things that you can't schedule that tightly. You can set the stage, sure, you can go somewhere, you can show up and be open. That all matters. But some of the magic of life comes from letting things breathe. We don't know how to let things breathe anymore. Even hobbies, bro. This one gets me heated. Why does everything have to become a lane? Why does everything have to become a page, a personal brand, a side income, a niche, a thing you're building? Why can't you just love something because you love it? You start making music and people will ask when you're dropping your album. You can start taking photos and people will ask where your portfolio is. You can get good at cooking and people ask if you thought about doing pop-ups. Can I just be human for a second, bro? Can I just enjoy a thing because I enjoy it? Can I just care about something without immediately trying to prove that it has market value? That's one of the ways we've hollowed life out. We took interests, passions, little joys, and dragged them, tried to make them as productive as possible. Now, even your free time is working. What is that doing for you? Can this go somewhere? Can this be something bigger? Can this become useful? Useful. Some things should stay beautifully useless. Some things should exist just because they light your brain up. Because the second every joy has to justify itself, life starts feeling like a performance. And no wonder people are tired. Nothing gets to remain just fun. Nothing gets to remain just yours. I think that's why so many people secretly miss being bad at things in private. Because there was a freedom in that. There was freedom in trying something and nobody expects anything of it. Now everything feels like it's one step away from being turned into output. And you may not even do it, that's the weird part. You might not actually post it or monetize it or build the thing, whatever. But the mentality is still in the room. You can feel it. And it makes enjoying things a lot harder. I also think that we've done serious damage to our relationship with places. Places used to matter a lot more. You had spots you'd go to. Not content locations, not this would be good for a story. I mean, actual places that had a place in your life. A bench that you always sat on, a diner, a corner store, a park, a route you always walked. I think a lot of people now move through places like they're interchangeable. You know, one sleek coffee shop, one sleek store, one sleek gym, one sleek apartment complex. Whatever. And everything feels the same. That is bleak because human beings need places with memory in them. Places you've sat at long enough and returned to often enough and associated enough feelings with that they start to feel alive. And then if you strip your life of that, if everything becomes temporary and efficient and frictionless, you start feeling temporary too. I think that's one of the big things that people are feeling, but they just can't name. You don't feel rooted. And if you don't feel rooted anywhere, even nice things start to feel weirdly hollow. You could have a perfectly good day and still come home and feel like you were a ghost. I know some people hear this and think I'm romanticizing the past or being dramatic or whatever. I'm not. I'm looking at the emotional output of the world we built, that's all. People are lonelier, people are flatter, people are more entertained and somehow less fulfilled. People are around more things and still feel less connected to them. People have access to everything and still don't feel fed. That's data, and I think a lot of the reason is because we got obsessed with removing every small inconvenience. But inconvenience was where a lot of the good stuff was. Not all inconvenience, obviously. I'm not asking you to go make life awful on purpose, relax. I mean, the everyday kind, having to wait, having to ask, having to wander a bit, or learn something slowly, or commit to a book, or an album, or a show, or a skill before the payoff arrives. Those things shape you. They shape your taste and your patience and your memory and your ability to actually enjoy something instead of grazing on your own life. We become very good at grazing. A little bit of this, a little bit of that, half of this, a little bit of dopamine from here, a little bit of distraction from that. And when you graze through your whole existence, nothing really lands. You don't go deep enough into anything to be changed by anything. That's the tragedy. You can be surrounded by stimulation and still have no real encounter with life. That's why I think a lot of people secretly miss things they can't describe. They miss the feeling of really being somewhere, really being in a moment or in a place, or with a piece of art, or in a conversation, or really being in a chapter of their life instead of floating above it and just making decisions like you're acting like you're a puppet on a string. You know what else we ruined a little? The journey to things. That mattered way more than people give it credit for. Getting somewhere used to be part of the experience. It used to be most of the experience. The lead up, the anticipation, the waiting, the slight uncertainty, the sense that you were on your way to something. Now everyone wants the thing instantly without the lead up. I think anticipation used to make life sweeter. You'd think about it, you'd imagine it, you'd build towards it, you'd savor it a little before it even happened. Now so much of life is just immediate. It's so immediate that people barely feel it anymore. And then the thing itself doesn't even hit the same. Because part of the joy was the lead up. That's true with food and art and places and conversations and even work. It's true with a lot of life. A day with no build-up feels weirdly disposable. That's why I think a lot of people need to stop treating life like a thing to optimize as much as possible and start treating it like something to enter. Not control, enter. Not package either, enter. That takes trust, it takes patience, it takes giving some moments back their dignity. Like watching something all the way through because it deserves your attention. Like learning something because it deserves your effort. Like going somewhere enough times for it to stop feeling random and start feeling like it's a part of your life. Like caring about your area and your people and your neighborhood and your town and your family and your spaces. That's where life really starts getting some weight back. And I want to say something that I think is really important. I don't believe people are doomed. I don't. I actually think the opposite. I think people are starving for this stuff. There's a lot, they want experiences that feel real. They want spaces with soul. They want conversations without having to perform in them. They want to care about things again. I believe that. I really do. I think the issue is that nobody wants to be the first person to act like they care. Nobody wants to be the one who initiates things. Nobody wants to be the one who says, yo, let's go do this. Let's go make this. Yo, I actually want a life that feels more alive than this. That's the risk now. Actually caring, actually trying, actually building a little world around what matters to you. And yeah, it can feel awkward at first, sure. But do you know what's more awkward? Living in a perfectly comfortable life that feels completely dead. That's way worse. So if you're feeling that weird emptiness, that feeling that your days are all technically fine, but spiritually you're not, I don't think you need to hate yourself for it. I think you need to notice what kind of environment that you've put yourself in. Notice what your days are made of. Notice what your interests are being turned into. Notice what your spaces feel like. Notice what parts of your life that have no looseness in them anymore. Because that's where a lot of the answer is. And then from there you start protecting some things. You start protecting the things that you like just because you like. You start protecting the long way home, or your sense of place, or the things in your life that still feel textured and human. That matters a lot, because if you don't actively keep some parts of your life messy and unoptimized and a little bit inconvenient, the world will slowly turn everything into polished wallpaper. And the polished wallpaper is nice to look at, and nobody wants to live inside it. So yeah, we ruined life a little bit. Not permanently, not beyond repair, but enough that a lot of people can feel in their bones and just don't have the words for it. Now you do. And once you can name it, you can recognize it and you can start refusing it. Keep some parts of your life real. That's a serious instruction. Keep some of it slow. Keep some of it useless. Keep some of it private. Keep some of it rooted. Keep some of it hard to measure. That's where a lot of your aliveness is waiting. And if you're trying something new, like building a life that actually feels lived instead of just managed, just know, I believe in you. You got this. Have a good day.